the country's falling apart, right? You and I both know that. There are people who refuse to acknowledge that. We've watched what happened in the last 2 years with COVID mania. We watched the lockdowns. We watched the vaccine mandates. I got into politics around 2010 when the Tea Party movement had risen up. And what I loved about it is that it was an organic movement. And those were people who, yes, were challenging the left, but they were also really, really challenging the right. They had a problem with establishment Republicans who didn't care about the national debt, who didn't really care about issues like taxation. And they felt like they needed to jolt them into being awake again, into maybe caring about these things, or to get them out of office. Let's get rid of these. So I want to talk about the state of the right now with you first, because we're coming off a time period with all of these vaccine mandates where there was deafening silence among a lot of Republicans. I mean, Ron DeSantis is front and center on these issues, but where is everyone else? So what is your perception of the right now? Do we need like a second wave of a Tea Party movement to oust all these establishment Republicans? What do we do here?
What we need is what we're actually getting. We're just not going to get it near as fast as we need to get it. Not near as fast as you want it, not near as fast as I want it. What we have right now is we have a right that is completely useless, weak. I call them the low T GOP. That's really what they are. And I'll correct you on something. They weren't silent when it came to COVID. They were compliant. They were out there telling people. Republicans were just as bad as Democrats when it came to freedom. People seem to want to forget that the country turned into a tyrannical place for 2 years. We were arresting pastors for having church. We arrested paddleboarders out in the ocean paddleboarding. They sent police boats after the man. We turned into a tyranny for 2 years, and Republicans helped. I'm in Texas. My governor is Greg Abbott. I remember Greg Abbott press conferences talking about the percentages he'll allow in restaurants and bars as if he's some sort of little king who's able to bestow the right to earn a living on us. What we have is a GOP that is completely useless. Now, it is changing. That's the bad news. The good news is it is changing. Slowly but surely, the old low-T GOP types are retiring. They're getting primaried out. But it'll take 10, 20 years to get rid of the rest of these losers so we can finally go on to be anti-communists as we should. The frustration you see out there is people don't have an alternative, right? You have these loser Democrats who are full-blown communists now. They're all in with big tech and the FBI to crush you, crush your rights, lie to you about COVID and other things. And what you want is some kind of bold opposition, but you don't have a bold opposition. You have okay, I guess they're kind of wrong, guys. Let's have a hearing. And that's all you get out of our side. And that's not good enough for me. It's not good enough for you. It's not good enough for your audience.
Yeah. And, I think part of the challenge was that media was so complicit. They were tied into big pharma this whole time. So everyone that had a big microphone and was sitting on a conventional platform was like, what do I do? How do I navigate this maze? And there were very few people with big microphones that were just like, I don't care. Like, this is beyond the pale. I need to speak up. I think the good news, though, Jesse, is a lot of people really woke up. I mean, I said this on your show. I really was jolted into just wisdom throughout this process because I was, existing in the slumber of cable news and network TV, and I was in those spaces, and I needed something to kind of jolt me into how serious this all was. And when I saw what was going on with COVID with the kids, and it was just going on, and then the vaccine comes out and there's a mandate that you have to inject your body with something experimental or lose your job, I was done. I was like, whatever fire needed to be lit inside of me was lit bigger and bolder than I think I ever thought possible. So the good news is I think there's a lot of people like me who were kind of falling asleep a little bit and now are wide awake. Do you hear from those people every day on your show? Do you feel like there is a fair number of them that are now going to be outspoken in the voting booth and whatnot?
I hear from them all the time, and it's actually what gives me hope. People think I'm pessimistic because I think our country as a whole is screwed, and I do. All our natural systems are probably corrupted and rotted beyond fix. But that doesn't mean we're done at all, because there are so many tens of millions of Americans who are awake now, because that's always what we've needed. We've told ourselves on the right this lie for so long. So many traditional conservative things we've learned have been lies, and they've actually handicapped us and helped the communists. One of the biggest lies the right has spouted for years is we are the silent majority. We're the silent majority. We're the silent majority. Yeah, the reason you're silent is you're losing. You're getting your teeth kicked in because of your silence. You want to go raise a family, go to church on Sunday, go to your job, go do your things, and all those things are fine. You should do all those things. But while you were doing those things, the communists were taking over your school boards, your university. They even took over professional sports. They took over the corporate world. They took over, they took over the freaking Boy Scouts. While you were bragging about being silent, look how silent I am. Mm-hmm. They were busy being loud. And so a tiny percentage of America-hating scumbags now run all of our cultural institutions. Mm-hmm. And we were silent. We're the silent majority. We're going to be fine. And then the St. George Floyd riots were what really woke up a lot of people. A lot of people don't go back to that. They go back to COVID. But it was the George Floyd riots that I hear as much from anything else about in my emails of people waking up to how much anti-Americanism there is ingrained in this society now. It wasn't just the BLM animals or the Antifa animals in the streets. People were watching suburban white kids from all over America rally to these cities and crap all over the country. Mm-hmm. And it woke people up to, man, we have a real patriotism problem. And it woke people up. Just like you said, I hear from people, we are winning school boards across the country. Yeah. You don't know it because school board isn't sexy, right? And let's be honest, you win your local school board race, you're not getting an invite to be on Jedediah Bila's show. It's just the way it works.
I'm down. Tell me who that is. I'll bring him on.
I know you probably would be. That's no insult, but it's not sexy, right? It's just that you don't get Understood. On Fox News with that. But we're winning them across the country. We are waking up and seizing control of local. There's a lot of local to look forward to right now.
If you like the short clip, you can catch another one here, or you can catch the full episode right here.